Hello, and welcome to Wyverns Weirdos, A Journey Home. I'm your Dungeon Master Darby, and joining me as always are Zoe, playing 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, Emily, playing Beatrice, Laura, playing Conrad, and Johanna, playing Fall. Let's jump into it. So, where we last left off, the party were exploring the city of 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, preparing to meet with a powerful mage who was planning to take an expedition to a lost library of some sort that 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 suggested may hold secrets or answers to Tiamat's threat here in Exandria, and as such, a possible lead on how to retrieve his dial and return home. The party severally went shopping, including 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 buying the components for a find familiar spell. Then the party were on their way towards getting back to each other as we left. And 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 and Fall were the first back because 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, as Zoe has expressed to all of us between sessions, was in a rush to get something sorted before going. And so as Conrad and Beatrice at their points return to you, and 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, describe what they see.
Well, Okay, so in our designated little meeting area, which I think might have been either out the front or like the dining room, maybe. I can't quite remember. Apologies. They would see 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧. If you could see her hands, you could tell that there is still the remnants of burnt incense and like the remnants of magic on her fingertips that she appears to have been too rushed to clean off properly. But you can't really see her hands because instead they are buried in the soft, long black fur of a medium-sized black cat. It's got huge green eyes. It's got a very cute little face with very fluffy cheeks in particular. As 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is like just beaming at him and giving all these little scritches, and you would see that he has a little face where like his resting cat face is just a little grumpy. He's got a kind of shortish tail for like the size of him, but a very fluffy belly, and he's just kind of swishing his little tail passively. And she's just sitting next to Fall, look like vibrating with excitement almost. As she just stands there holding this cat.
Paul also looks extremely excited and has like these big eyes and is just like looking at the cat.
Hello.
Conrad kind of just like stops from where he was like striding towards her and just like turns his head to one side, like looking over the black fur. For a moment, he looks just a bit weak, just temporarily wigged out, and he's like, cat, this is why you asked in head, yes?
Mm-hmm. Yes. This is... I made him.
You made him? How? Steps forward closer and looks over the cat, and Conrad is wearing like finer clothes now. His hair's clipped shorter. He looks a lot more like nice now. He still looks quite unhealthy though. He looks over the cat without touching it, just with like his arms kind of like laced behind his back as he sort of like pivots around. How'd you make it?
Well, it took a very long time, and a lot of things. But he's a magic cat. He's a familiar. So I went out and I bought some extra incense and some other things that I needed. And then I put them all in a little brass dish. And then I said a lot of magic words. I made a lot of little magic hands. And then my little celestial friend here appeared.
Oh, you summoned it?
It technically, yes. So, familiars, they're strange little creatures. They're sort of like friends, but it's far easier to make familiars than it is to make friends. So the thing about familiars is they're sort of like a spirit. Whether they be a fae, a fiend, or a celestial, and you kind of call upon them and you can make them take whatever shape you want. So my little friend here, he doesn't have to be a cat. I could make him a bird or a spider or an octopus or a little rat. I could make him any number of little things, but I just thought, he would look rather cute as a cat.
Yes, the green eyes. Any choice for why you would pick this shape for it, then, if you can make it any shape?
But I really like cats. And, he looks a lot like the cat I had when I was small. But also, part of... Akani helped me out, and one of her things is black cats. So I figured this was a fitting little tribute to her.
Oh, it is reference to your past, not of other cat. Good. This is interesting choice then. Why did you ask me about this?
Beatrice appears at Conrad's elbow out of nowhere at this and sort of nudges him and says, wizard shit.
He starts and just kind of like
She spoke to me too.
Oh, you asked Beatrice also.
Yes, well, technically, as much as he is my baby, he is the group new friend. So I figured, if any of you had a particular aversion to cats, I would not make a cat, and I would instead have made him, I don't know, an axolotl or something.
I see. This is interesting. I had not knowledge that this was possible with such shape.
Yes, no, it's a really fascinating art. Normally, a lot of wizards will get little familiars like this far earlier on in what they're doing, but I haven't really had the time. But no, yes, and it's not just wizards. Many types of magic persons can acquire familiars. Wizards are just the most common. It's helpful to have a little friend to help you out, isn't it? And she gives him a big scritch.
And he's such an adorable one too. Look at his fluffy little cheeks.
Karen kind of like leans down a little bit more to look at the cat and just like sizes it up.
I imagine the cat just like looks back at Conrad and like leans its little nose out to try and boop his nose.
He moves back and it's just like, like a little bit like a startled, and it's like, then immediately it's like, I wasn't startled. I meant to do that. And then just kind of just like, so tries to sort of collect his posture and with his hands on his hips. It's like, good cat. You have summoned, you have created a good cat. Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Fall and I are very proud.
Oh, like a child. I see. Interesting.
Yeah, he's out his little baby. Look at him.
Yes.
Well, you both seem to like it, so that's good. Congratulations. I will hope your friend will be here for a long time.
Yes. Well, hopefully. And because he's not a normal cat, he's a little celestial cat. As much as he has some of the behaviors of cats, he also just kind of does things I ask him to do. So he's a lot, more forgiving than a normal cat is to a lot of things. So
useful then. Good.
Yes. If you ever want a cuddle, and she like holds the cat up a little bit, like, and wiggles his little front paws.
I don't know about that one.
Well, I know you said you prefer dogs, but well, if you ever wanted.
I do not have great experience of cats, but it looks like an agreeable fellow. Cat, yes. So that's good.
Oh. Well, good. Good. Yes, he's everyone's friend now.
Beatrice sort of cocks her head to the side, looks at the cat, and then makes the most accurate cat noise. Just a little meow.
Bless you.
Are you making friends, Harold?
They are.
Oh, yes, his name's Harold. Sorry, I've mostly been calling him friend because, well, that's what he is, but his official name is Harold.
An interesting name.
Yes. I'm sure you could call him like Harry for short. Hazar? I don't know. There don't appear to be a lot of nicknames for Harold, but it felt right.
Good. Well, congratulations. I hope Harold will be here for a good long time and bring you much joy.
Pleased to meet you, Harold. Beatrice says, and like bows, but in a very sarcastic kind of way.
Well, thank you, Beatrice, and thank you, Conrad. I've wanted us to have a little friend for a while, so now we have and she like chucks him all up on one arm, and she's just like, a friend. Yes, he'll probably mostly stick with me and Fall, especially if you two are a little less comfortable with cats, but he's amenable to us, is all. So he won't scratch or bite or anything like that.
Good. That is good to see. He is a good friend.
Yes, he really is.
Paul's gonna start baby talking Harold and just be like, "No, okay, so I know what Stevia said about you, but if you ever don't want to be patted or something, you feel free to scratch anyone. So you're right as a cat. Okay? So you little cutie, so you got to stand up for yourself."
Is Mordenkainen here as well?
Yeah.
So Conrad kind of like looks to Beatrice and then kind of like looks over and catches Mordenkainen's eye and just looks back at them like, this is the scene we're in. Yes. Conrad looks a bit wary of the cat.
I love how close this is to me introducing my in real life cats and like the nose boop, and then one of them retreats like, who the fuck is this? Conrad is a cat.
Yeah, he is basically like, I might have to wrestle this cat later for dominance.
Yeah, got to establish the pecking order here.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, Taylor be swishing.
Well, you're all looking very nice. It appears our little break was well deserved. Are we?
Yes, do we have plan? We were going somewhere. Library, I believe.
Yes, we were going to find the Master Widogast at the university, I believe, and then from there he was going to help us find the long lost library.
Yes, well, there might be much information. Good. Well, I am ready to do that. If everyone else is.
You hear a voice from behind you say, "Oh, please don't talk about that in the streets."
Corrine turns around.
And you see a
Gives a
woman,
puff up.
short to average height, well-defined, muscular body, blue eyes, medium brown skin tone, and long, dark brown hair shaved into an undercut. And she's wearing, she has multiple gold and green piercings in her ear, left eyebrow and left nostril, and wears blue robes. Very,
I rolled a
very
6 out of 10
movable.
for her, which is a lie. She is much more attractive.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, this is a
Overruled.
character who would
Overruled.
probably have
I rolled with advantage, but I
if
just
not-
got it bad. But you know,
yeah.
if you have bad taste, it's a 6
Yeah.
out of 10.
Yeah.
That's fair.
No, I think the fact that it was a joke that like the party leveled up whenever she slept with someone in Critical Role,
Well.
it probably speaks to her being more than a 6. But
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
She's probably a 6 to Conrad, who's not attracted to women. There you go.
She's a 10 for Beatrice.
Oh. Why not speak for? What do you know?
Come with me.
Conrad
And she
looks back at the...
starts walking.
Explain.
I'm sorry, who are you?
Conrad
Not
will
in
walk over.
public.
I mean, she's right. We shouldn't talk about that sort of thing in public. And Beatrice toddles off after her.
We do that. We follow her, I presume.
Huffily.
Utterly.
Yeah.
Not pleased.
Yeah. So she leads you through to the Innerstead Sprawl, and through to what appears to be the Valley Archive of the Cobalt Soul, built just off of the western edge of the Pentamarket. And there's iconography of two different things. One seems to be religious in nature. The other seems to be more specific, or more organizational. All right, come in. You can tell me what you know about this library. And she leads you in, if you follow.
Guarantee. What will you do if we have any information before we enter?
If you why don't I say I won't kick your ass?
I'd like to see you try.
Is that a challenge?
Could be.
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Well, hang on. He puts his hands on his hips and turns around like,
We're in a strange place, and everybody's being very rude.
yes, precisely.
You too.
I'm not. I'm being wary. We're meant to be wary here. He just like looks between like Beatrice and the secret like, yeah, I'm right, yes. Probably met with no impressed faces, I assume. Yeah.
Sevia has the look on her face where she's like, you're not wrong, but you're not right either. And she just doesn't know how to say that while also dealing with everything else that's happening at the moment. So she's just kind of like,
As that happens, Conrad, she approaches you and throws 4 punches at you. Two of them because of the rapidity of them miss. But the first one, can I get you to roll me a Constitution saving throw?
Oh no. Okay, let's go.
Also,
What?
Sentinel.
8.
8. So you are stunned.
Yep. So he just like clocked like there'll be little birds going around.
And you take 2 points of bludgeoning damage.
That's fair.
Beatrice watches this happen and is like, I was joking. And then Beatrice, I believe, now has...
I think Fall had a...
Yeah,
Fall has Sentinel, so while the other people...
Yeah, so in reaction, I rolled a 27 to hit. He's just going to get his staff of striking and hold it against her throat.
Okay.
Enough of that. We can turn this into a fight if we have to.
Impressive. Come in.
You're going to keep those fists away?
You don't piss me off.
Oh, that's a bit worrying, but okay.
Beatrice pats Conrad on the arm and is going to lay on hands and heal him those 2 points.
Oh, thank you. Karen just kind of like just shakes his head a bit. It's like he was stunned for a moment and then kind of just like played it off a bit more like, oh no, I'm looking in another direction at this point. And then he's just like flustered. He's very annoyed. But just like just completely flushed. You're like, And he just kind of like just sullenly puts his hands in the little pockets of his coat and then follows behind Beatrice.
Okay. Yeah. So, you follow her in. She says, "Okay. So, I am 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, the Kobold Soul. How the fuck do you know about that library?"
Well, you see, we were shopping, and it was mentioned to us by, what was that shopkeep's name?
Like the Clown one?
Fucking Kumad.
That's the one.
God, he's too nice for his own good sometimes.
As a note, when Bo said her name, Sevia just looks at Mordenkainen as if to be like, "Are you? This is one of the ladies we were recommended? Oh my god!"
Yeah.
She punched one of us. Yeah. And she's just like, "Yes, he sold us many good wares, and then he told us about the library and about you and Master Widowgast."
How handy are you all in a fight?
I'm very handy.
I mean, we have a pretty substantial record of being very, very good at them.
Yes,
Good.
that's true.
Sorry, sulky in the background.
What do you all do?
Oh, well, why do you need to know? 𝗖𝗧 says, drawing herself up very tall, which she probably comes up to like Beau's like chin.
Yeah, did we kind of run into knowing something we weren't supposed to? I'd rather not be assassinated for something as silly as that.
You're not going to be assassinated. No. Just, want to know if you're worth taking on the expedition is all.
We're very capable. When we're not caught off guard.
Yeah, but that doesn't tell me what you can do, does it?
Oh, I see. So it's like an audition. That's a bit nicer.
It's not that fucking complicated. Tell me what you can do.
Okay, I'm a monk and a bard. I fight and I do some magic.
Okay, was that hard?
Someone has a short fuse.
Was struggling not to make a comment.
𝗖𝗧 like just hugs Harold a little closer and gives him a little scritch, and she's just like, wizard with some clerical tendencies.
Oh. Second bit I would not have guessed.
Well, there appear to be a lot of things you don't know, Expositor Beauregard, about us.
I know you appeared out of the blue, yesterday.
That's a pretty common theme for us.
Yes.
Not around here.
We're special.
Everyone thinks they're special.
We're plane jumpers of a sort. Unwillingly. We've been to about 4 separate places at this point.
We're rather hoping we will unappear from this place and actually go back home. Maybe the library can help.
Yes, we've heard there might be much knowledge there. Ways to find way home through planes.
We don't
I'm a
know what's there.
swordsman by trade normally.
Swordsman?
Well, by skill, yes.
Okay.
We look at Beatrice.
I'm a former assassin mercenary type.
Interesting.
I'm handy in fight.
Good to know.
And Harold's a cat.
And I'm
And
guessing
also
a familiar?
you.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's apparently not a real cat.
Yes. He's a familiar. And then we have and 𝗖𝗧 like...
You see, in
points
reaction to
toward-
Conrad saying not a real cat, you see like Beau look at the cat and say like, don't let him tell you that.
That's so cute.
And then this is Mordenkainen. He's been helping us, and we're helping him.
Archmage Bath. Good to know. Actually, I think I've read a couple of your spells that have come through. It's not really my domain, but my buddy's obsessed with magic, and as far as I know, you've done a bit of transmutation that he's keen on. Well, it's not my specialty, but I've dabbled. All right. What have you heard about the library? You think it might give you knowledge of how to go home? Anything else?
Place to start, anyway.
We've heard it was lost. That the knowledge there could be ancient. But Pumat did not have a lot of information besides that, except that we could talk to either you or Master Widogast and find a way there. We're, yes, looking for a way home, or just potentially something that could help us with a little side mission we're on at the same time.
Well, side mission? What side mission?
Oh, just trying to stop someone, some zealot trying to bring their god here.
Have you heard of Arkan?
Heard of him. Something about someone involved with the big fight against Vecna.
That has been mentioned, yes. He may not be entirely of this plane, but he is here now, somewhere, presumably. So I am told.
Looking for his godly mistress.
Yes, we had run in with him,
This
and now he
mistress
has something
being-
we need.
He is a champion of Tiamat.
Ah,
Yes. And if we can't find information on how to get home at the library, then he is, unfortunately, our other way home. As Conrad said, he is a key component to us being able to do anything. So until we either find him or find some miraculous information at this library, we are this world's problem, I guess.
I don't know too much about them, but there is the cult of the caustic heart.
Maybe
Have to-
involved?
Yeah.
Hmm.
If trying to think. So, I might ask Xenath to look into that while I'm gone. Just stay here. If I might be of assistance, it would help me greatly if I could also partake in some research into this material plane. It's not one that I have much experience in, and if I could be granted permission to look through the library, then I might be able to gain myself a crash course and undertake potentially some sort of knowledge trade that would interest the archive. All right, I'll just go speak to Xenath and let you know. As for the expedition, I'll also ask someone to get in touch with Caleb for me, and if you are right to go today, I wouldn't be surprised if he's ready to go today.
How far is this library? Why is it such a secret? It is not a household's library. That is what
No.
I have experience in.
No,
Not-
it's
Not residing within temple or tomb.
no, it's. We'll teleport there. Caleb knows where it is. He can take us.
Huh.
And she goes into further into the archive.
Clearly some kind of archaeological thing. I've been on a couple, actually.
Oh, really?
As security. You'd be amazed at how many people take the opportunity to, how you say, grave rob.
Oh, that's true. So that is the potential danger of this excursion.
Well, that's probably part of why they don't want people to know.
Oh, that makes sense,
It's
actually.
secret. Especially if they're involved in archiving the history of this place. They don't want too many people in, finding it, and stealing all the shit.
Oh, nice. So we all got mistaken as grave robbers.
It's the assumption.
Perhaps.
I think it's more of a screening process, probably.
Well, I still would have won.
I think you would have.
Of course.
Kind of puffs himself up a bit. He doesn't smile, but it's like, yes, well. Little brow still furrowed. Good. Just so we're all clear on that one.
I mean, she's an expositor. How many fights could she have been in? I bet she's just gotten a couple lucky punches.
Yes. Well handed for a librarian, I'll give you that one. But yes.
You don't look like
Lucky
that.
punch.
You don't look like that if you've only been in one or two scraps.
Really? Is that what most women look like? I mean, okay, Stevie doesn't look like that, but most. That's just a normal woman thing, right?
Maybe she just lifts a lot of books. They're technically bicep curls if you do them enough.
Is very
Yes.
athletic and did that very little punch very
Oh, no.
quickly.
She's
In the
definitely a monk, yeah.
Yes, I was going to say, very much like Foe.
But I mean, not all monks go out about adventuring, so
Well,
maybe a stay-at-home one. We had a couple of them, just doing all these teachings and philosophy and such.
Huh. Well,
And you could have definitely taken any of them.
yes.
She definitely looks like she's into philosophy.
Conrad looks around the room. What does the room look like that we're in currently? Anything interesting?
It's a fairly simple kind of entry hall of sorts. Let me so there are some escort like not those
Escorts,
kind
you
of
say.
escort
Yeah.
like guardians of the library.
Yeah, that's fair.
Who would escort you into the library itself to make sure that you don't access anything you're not supposed to.
Oh, yes, the restricted section.
If
Yeah, so
you-
Conrad kind of turns and looks around, notices them, and is like, and then just shuts his mouth pointedly. In listening distance. Just folds his arms, looks up around.
And after a moment more, Bo returns and says, "All right, Baldy, one of these guys will take you through, and you can look to your heart's desire. And the four of you, let's head to the Tri-Spire.
What does that mean? Where are you taking us?
Tri-Spire. We're going to the Hall of Erudition.
It's that big building.
Ah. Okay, yes, let's go then.
Yes, lead the way, expositor.
Yes.
And yeah, she leads you through the city and towards the Tri-Spire, the wealthiest district of the city, located to the north. You see, obviously, there are 3 massive towers that loom high over the rest of the city in this district. And you're led through to one of those three towers. And you see Bo grabs the attention of what looks to be a student mage just running past. She says, "Hey, can you pass a message on to Master Widowguest that his friend is here?" Yes, ma'am. As he goes running off. Shouldn't be waiting too long.
Wonderful. And Sevia does lean over to Beatrice and she just says, "You know, I see why you like her. She seems like your sort of a woman."
I like them forceful.
Sorry, I'm taken.
I was being apologies, expositor. And then Sevia just puts her face in Harold's little fluffy body. She's just mortified. It's like, ah.
So what
Okay,
exactly
I'm
is
flattered.
an? Oh yeah. So what exactly is an expositor? I see that you're a monk. You're not part of any monastery.
I am part of the Kobold Soul. We kind of write, look into history, but also some of us are part of something kind of greater than that, in a way. We kind of how to put it? So I rank highly within the soul, but also we are dedicated to rooting out corruption where it lies.
I see. Yes, your friends all seem to be quite powerful. Do you work for, say, the king or something like that?
No. We work within the Cobalt Soul. We are independent. The Expositors are secret order within the soul. And we pursue secrets and evils of the world and expose them to the light.
I see. That's quite a noble pursuit.
Yeah.
Uh,
Kind of fell into it, but it suits me.
oh no, I can imagine so. You, I mean, I haven't seen too much of your combat, but you seem to be quite the skilled monk, and yes.
Thanks. Looking forward to see what you can do.
Thank you.
Paul is very good at what they do.
Which reminds me, I don't think I officially got names.
Conrad's mouth
fall.
opens and shuts. He's like, "Oh, damn it!"
I take it your fall.
Yes, that's right.
And the rest of you?
Sevia, Harold.
Stevia Harold.
I think you'd already introduced Harold.
Harold is him, and she pats the cat. I'm just Sevia. Well, I have a last name, but you don't need to. I'm going to go back to being quiet now. She says.
Is she always like this?
Always.
Yes.
Interesting.
I am Beatrice. And she gives like a little, not a bow, but sort of an inclination of the top half of her body.
Okay.
And I am Conrad, Sir Baloney.
Noted. All right. And it's at about this point that you see a man, probably late 30s, early 40s, maybe mid 40s at his latest. Red hair starting to kind of grey in points. Long, but trimmed. Closely trimmed beard. That is that same orange speckled with bits of grey. Wearing sort of maroon undershirt and purple cloak, approaches the group.
And he's a 6 out of 10 canonically now.
Yeah, that tracks.
Unless you're purple, then he's so hot.
Hello. What is So you are the ones that now, why am I going French? So you're the ones who heard about the library.
Yes, that's right. You are the one that's organizing an expedition, is that correct?
Yes. And so monk, sword, assassin, wizard. Am I right there?
Pretty much.
Correct.
All right.
Word travels fast, it seems, Master Widowgast.
Bo and I had some communication. So, are you ready to go?
Well, yes, but I will admit it would be nice to. Bo said you could tell us where we're going, how far away. We are prepared to leave, but it would be nice to know how far we shall be away from this newest version of home.
It is probably only a day's trip walking, but it's more expeditious to teleport. That way we don't have to rest in between.
Magic. Okay.
Yes.
Will you be opening up a tree for this one?
9.
Beg
But-
pardon?
9 trees.
The
The woman from the Arashari could do it with 2.
Wow, you must be a great mage.
I think he's just talking about the teleport spell, not that weird tree thing.
9 teleports.
No, 9. It means no.
Oh,
It is.
I
It
see.
is. It is Zemnian.
Different speak. I understand entirely.
Yeah.
Apologies. There is no.
Sorry. Ja is yes in Zemnian.
Thank you. There is no Zemnian where we are from.
Unsurprising. So, are we ready to go?
Certainly.
That's
Yes.
why not?
Duh.
Yeah, so suddenly you find yourself in a different place as Caleb's magic flows out. Right, we are here. And you look around and see that you're in what appears to be the middle of a quarry. It is, let me see. Like seems to be an ancient an old strip mine sorts that appears mostly abandoned, though it still has the one or two miners at the moment, including you see an old gnome approach you. Oh, so that's a bit of guest. I suppose to line it. These are your help. Take it. Yeah. And Bo introduces you all to this gnomish fellow, 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧. So we were going through my quarry the other day, and we discovered a strange bit of stonework. Then we went digging further and further, and we broke into what seemed to be a library from ages and ages ago. Which is strange because we've been using this strip mine for centuries. Whatever's in there is real ancient.
Library within a mine, possibly.
Something like that. Right. So, are all your people done for the day? I would hate for there to be some sort of cave-in while we were exploring. I think we're just about sorted. Would have been nice to get a bit of a head start on stuff, but we got all we need for current orders. Just don't take too long in there, all right? We will take the time we need, but it should not be too long. Listen. Thanking you kindly, sir. When you're ready. All right. Are you ready to go?
Yes, into mine, of course. And Curry is already bundling up his coat into his little backpack that he has.
So the four of you, follow Caleb and Beauregard into the mine. And can I get a marching order, please, for once you settle into the mine itself?
Photoed front.
Conrad front.
For second.
Beatrice at the back.
Sevia after fall, Harold in Sevia's arms.
No.
Okay. Severe after 4. So Caleb will be there. So Caleb will be behind Severe. The bow will be between Caleb and Beatrice. And all right. So, let us explore. So, can I get everyone to roll me, I guess, an investigation check?
Full got a 16.
Okay.
Just a 9. I keep rolling. I've been rolling quite badly so far this session.
9.
Yes, 9. Ha ha ha.
Beatrice, what's yours?
26.
I'm so sorry, Darby. 31.
All right. So
Sevia's broken a little bit.
So yeah, you go through the library and or the remains of this library, and I think CV, you're probably the first to spot it. There is a strange statue, made of what appears some form of metal. And it seems to have in its hands some sort of blade, and over its head some sort of eyewear. The blade and eyewear seem to be separate from the actual statue itself.
Well, hello there, friend. Aren't you an interesting piece of interior design?
Just be careful.
Friends?
Don't know. What do we got?
Is a strange metal, separate sword and eyepiece. Is this familiar to anyone? Conrad, you're good with swords.
He kind of like squints up, like just like covers this little brow with one of his hands and looks up. He probably wouldn't notice anything different, I presume. Does it look wobbly? I don't know.
I mean, it's a nice looking blade. Though it's not really something you're particularly familiar with.
It is good looking blade. Do not notice anything of particular import of it. Makes sense in some type of ruin, though, I suppose.
Oh boy. Okay, let's start. Who thinks we should start looking around to see if there's any little rhymes written around that we need to follow?
Oh, yes, true. Or spirits to inhabit.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal doors for someone to shoot through when we're not looking.
Yes.
It does seem
Indeed.
very strange that it's separate to the statue.
Potentially something to be claimed in case of emergency.
You hear a finger snap. And Caleb says, there are no magical traps, at least. Though
Good.
those, the blade has some magic, goggles definitely have magic. There's a lot of magic coming from those goggles.
Worth retrieving. If I catch
Yeah.
your drift.
Yeah.
Beatrice immediately flies up into the air towards the top of the statue.
Okay.
Cora like turns around and is like, and just kind of puts his hands on his hips and just kind of like stabs his taps his foot on the ground a bit and just like looks around like, okay, this is what's happening now.
Sevia reaches out and like pats him on the arm.
Beatrice is just at first going to check for any physical traps.
All right. Roll me an investigation check.
17.
17. There do not appear to be any physical traps attached to these goggles.
I cannot find any traps. She calls down to everyone else.
All right, grab him.
She grabs him.
All right, nothing happens. You have the visor and the blade in your hand. All right.
She floats down.
Still you, Beatrice? Yes. Maybe a big question.
Oh.
No, a good job.
I am going to kill you. And she holds the blade above her head and like looks it fall.
Conrad immediately points his rapier at her, like, drop it. You will not.
Beatrice just turns and looks at Conrad.
I'm warning you.
And then she looks at Xavier and is like, wow, I'm a really good actress. And like, well, you were threatening fool. He asked whether I felt it strange.
It's a valid
Oh.
question.
Ah, yes. Of course. Good joke. They're funny. Ah ha 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 ha.
Yes.
Sees
nice
his
one,
rapier
Beatrice.
again. Puts his hands back on his hips, just looks away like, yes, that was very funny. I got that. Yes. Haha.
All right. Further in.
He's not stamping his foot, but he would be.
You're done bickering between yourselves over some sort of in-joke?
Happens quite a lot, unfortunately. Yes, I'm sure we're done.
Beatrice hands everything, or goes to sort of hand things towards Caleb.
Okay. So, let us continue on. And you walk a little further on and find yourself at what appears to be, or appears as if it were, the main bulk of the library. There are bookshelves along what remains of the walls here before it sort of transitions into through broken floorboards into more of a chasm, and you hear sound in the distance down the cavernway. Right. Be alert.
Are there creatures in here?
There may be. It's impossible to know until we see one.
Wonderful. Okay.
Good call. Should be alert.
So, what books? We have plenty of hopefully some books here that actually have pages that are intact with ink in them, if we are lucky.
Yes, we shall search.
So, everyone, roll me another investigation check.
Beatrice isn't going to look with everyone else. What she's going to do is she's going to... How tall would you say, like, the ceiling space is?
Probably about 12 feet.
Okay. She's going to pull out her bow and have an arrow knocked, and she's going to, whilst everybody's searching, she's going to keep a watch out for anything that might pop up or
Okay.
pop out.
Fair. So in your case then, roll me a
Perception?
check.
Okay. It's a 17. Again.
17. Okay. All right. So, we'll get back to you then. So Sevia, Fall, and Conrad, what did you roll for your investigations? Or is there
Forgotten.
something else that you want to do?
Fall got an 11, so I'm just going to say that Fall is like following Sevia around and like mending anything that needs mending, whether it's like a broken floorboard or like a book that she wants to look at.
Okay.
Makes sense. Conrad got a 21. He is looking, the moment he's stepped into this library, he's kind of, he's been a bit irritable, obviously, on this trip so far, but he looks he's suddenly sort of just like encompassed by the enormity of where he is and potentially the desperation of trying to find something. So he is quite furtive as he's looking around, and with increasing intensity of franticness, I suppose, like we're just looking through stuff. So then, like, if he finds something that has nothing readable in it, he'll has everything's destroyed. He just throws the book. But yeah, he is searching, hopefully for something, and he's just thinking, is there something here? Can it help me find it? Help me find it. Over and over and over and over again. That's what he's doing. You got a 21.
All right.
Sevia.
Also got a 21.
Okay.
So yeah, she would have been in a different way to Conrad, like just this moment of seeing this untapped font of potential. Her eyes just went wide, and she's gone into this zone where she is just like, yeah, just looking for anything that will help us, because technically a 21 is a low roll for Sevia. I'm going to flavor it that like she is actively stopping herself from doing what she wants to do, which is a more broad, like, discovery of knowledge in general, and she is forcing herself to keep on track and look for either things to help us with Tiamat and Arkan or things to help us get home. So
Okay.
she and Conrad may potentially look in similar areas, but she is not as focused on one particular topic as he is, so she is probably in a slightly different area as we're going around. And Fall would definitely notice that she barely seems to notice anyone else around her while she's doing this. This is like when we were in the library in the Amber Temple, and she is very, very focused.
All right.
So Fall is essentially just like trotting around after her, like, let me repair these floorboards by your feet.
And as you do so, Fall, you find yourself distracted at one point by these rags, almost, these bloodied white strips of fabric that almost look like unraveled hand wraps that you would use in training.
Do they look recent?
It's hard to tell. It looks you wouldn't expect something like this to be intact if this has been here as long as you as long as you have been led to believe that this place has been hidden for.
Interesting. Yeah, so I guess Ford, he would just like pick that up and look around and then try to look around to see if there's anything else like around it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so the cloth strips are quite fairly thick as you pick them up. There's nothing much leading you towards any sort of explanation around them, though. Conrad, you stumble within this stuff upon a tome that is darkly bound, and if you take it out of its shelf, it has a blood red ruby embedded into the front cover.
Conrad is a little bit more like secretive when he pulls out to have a look at it. It's like studies it for a bit, and then he will open it up to have a little peek. Is it in common or?
It is in common. Roll me an Arcana check to understand any of it.
He looks at it again and then just kind of like looks around again furtively, and then just like raises up to have a look at it as he sort of leans against one of the little walls. Okay, that's a +3. So that's a 15.
15. You don't understand it greatly, especially not kind of skimming bits and pieces of it.
Yeah.
But you pick up that there's information in here on planar travel, Shadowfell, domains of dread, those kinds of things.
Excellent.
Seems to be dedicated to your best guess, traveling through the mists of the domains of dread within the Shadowfell.
Carter's like, good. First step. Cannot quite grasp, but this will be good. And he stows this away.
Sevia,
As sneakily as he can.
you similarly find a book.
The 27 for sleight of hand.
Okay.
He sends it to another dimension.
So you find a gold book with gilded pages and a silver-plated cover. It is about 3 inches thick, 8 inches wide, 12 inches long, and is about 3 pounds in your hands. And has a variety of gems inlaid into the cover.
She goes to pull it out of the library shelf how you normally pull a book out, and I assume it partially falls out, and she kind of like catches it against her chest. Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks to be in incredible condition, like more than you would expect.
Oh. She opens it to see what's inside.
So as you open it, the strange thing you note is that there seems to be, as you kind of flick through it, it seems to be almost infinite in its pages. Most of them empty, but some of them towards the front you notice have various arcane notes throughout it. Some of them you actually recognize as specific spells.
Spellbook. Infinite. She looks over it for any kind of identifying, like a title or like a this belongs to, like any kind of identifier.
There is no title.
No identifier of any sort of like
No.
who could have owned it.
Nope.
And it's at least part of it, from what she can tell, is laid out the way her spellbook is.
Yeah. In a similar fashion.
Okay. Infinite spellbook. Hmm. Useful. Very useful. She flicks through it a little more, but as you said, it's difficult to like get through it since the pages just keep going and going and going. As quick as she can, tries to flip to the back page.
Cannot. There are like as you
Like,
flip
she
further
holds
and further
open-
through.
Yeah, like she holds
True.
open the back cover and it just keeps going.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. Okay. She has a look around and she I assume she's been like in one arm just picking up any books that have seemed interesting or like they could help, and she sets them all down. And what are the colors of the gems in the front?
All kinds. The central one is blue, is a sapphire, but there are also various purple, red, and green gems inlaid throughout the cover as well.
Okay. Caleb,
Yeah.
Master of the Arcane as you are, have you ever seen an infinite spellbook before?
Only in theory. If not,
Well, I think you'll find I found the practice. And she lifts up the back cover again, and she's yelling across the room, everyone would be able to see just the pages just cascade infinitely. Like God's Rolodex. And then she closes it.
Beatrice, watching out as you are, as all this is going on, you hear something in the distance approaching. And as the sound grows closer and closer, you see a large red serpentine beast with 5 heads, mounted by a familiar gothic spiky shelled turtle. And you hear... Oh, yep.
We're in trouble.
And that's where we're going to leave it for this week.
Oh boy.
Bye-bye. Oh boy.
That fucker. Excellent.
Bastard.
See you next week, everyone.
See you next week.
See you next time.
Bye.
Toodles.